We'll start off the series talking about what you can expect to find in some of the basic off-the-shelf, all-purpose, generic first aid kits. You can also buy pre-built off-the-shelf first aid kits that are more specialized for things like camping, backpacking, hiking, hunting, or if you have pets, they've got specific first aid kits that are built with your dog in mind. Start off with 100-piece first aid kit. A lot of these 100 pieces are just bandages. Something like this, you can expect to spend maybe $10, maybe 15 to 20, $30 on this specific kit, and then 50 on the eventual medical kit for your dog. For this 100-piece first aid kit, you've got some decent stuff over on this side of the container. You've got triangular bandage for either making a sling or maybe being used as a tourniquet if you needed to. Emergency blanket, some nylon gloves, some Q-tips, some tape, a chem light, and some low quality medical shears. Cold compress, some gauze, some more of the survival kit type gear like a whistle, a compass, a CPR mask, a lot of alcohol prep pads and bandages. Like I said, this is where a lot of your 100 pieces are coming from. And then an emergency poncho. So fairly basic. It is decently well put together, and you can use it as a starting point to build into a custom built first aid kit. It does also have some stuff like tweezers, moleskin, razor blades, and a sewing kit. So it's decent for between $10 and $15. Stepping up from the 100-piece first aid kit, it's 140-piece Johnson & Johnson all-purpose first aid kit. Obviously a little bigger, more items. Hard plastic case means it's a little more durable if you're trying to put it into a cabinet. If you're trying to put something into a backpack, the canvas, softer side case might do a little better. Just walking through some of the quick inventory on the back. It's got some hand cleansing wipes, some Neosporin ointment, instant cold pack, butterfly wound closures, some tape and gauze pads, assortment of various sized bandages, non-stick pads, some basic medication like Motrin, ibuprofen, nitrile exam gloves, tweezers, and a first aid guide. Some of these sometimes come with coupons for additional medical supplies too. A lot of them will also have spare storage space. So if yours has extra space, you can put stuff like how to identify poison oak, poison ivy, venomous snake or venomous bug identification and treatment tips. The first aid kit guide that comes with it, some poison oak, poison ivy, outdoor skin cleanser, the cleansing wipes, extra medical exam gloves, burn gel, bacitracin, hand sanitizer, and then everything else that just comes in the kit. Expect to spend maybe $20, $25 on that. This is from Amazon. Obviously the outer shell is somewhat waterproof, water resistant. The zippers even does a pretty good job of being water resistant. But the thing that actually makes it completely waterproof is just this Ziploc bag that the actual components are kept in. Not the most well organized. It's all just kind of in this bag, but at least that it's waterproof, and front of the package is ultralight, so it's pretty minimal, good quality stuff, and should be pretty easy to pack into a backpack. Some of the components that come in that are butterfly closures, tape, a couple different sizes of bandages, sterile gauze dressing, antiseptic wipes, triple antibiotic ointment, topical adhesive wipes, ibuprofen, aspirin, antihistamine medications, after bite and sting relief wipes, acetaminophen, got another pair of nitrile gloves, sterile gauze dressing, moleskin, pre-cut and shaped, alcohol swabs, splinter picker and tick remover forceps, safety pin, and 2 feet of duct tape. If you're willing to spend a little more on some of these pre-built first aid kits, you can obviously expect to be a little bit more well equipped. So stuff like this, it just gets a little bit bigger in size until there's a bigger list of inventory. stuff that's going to be included in the kit. Also, kits like this, if you spend a little bit more money, they're much more likely to come with some sort of useful guide on wilderness or travel medicine. This one's a little over 200 pages, obviously probably fairly small, but some of the components that they talk through, or some of the skills that this book can help teach, is stuff like dealing with life-threatening emergencies for CPR, rescue breathing, choking, obstructed airways, shock, head injuries, headache, eye damage or eye injuries, ear, nose, dental, chest injuries, abdominal, belly injuries, gunshot wounds and arrow injuries, knee injuries, sprains, strains, back pain, fractures, and then specific types of fractures, dislocations, wounds, cuts and abrasions, burns, respiratory infections, seizures, insulin shock and diabetic ketoacidosis, heart attack, stroke, different types of abdominal pain, urinary tract infections, gynecological emergencies, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, hemorrhoids, allergic emergencies, asthma, bites and stings, venomous snake bites, venomous lizards, other animal bites, including possibly rabies, poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac treatment, altitude sickness, frost nip, frostbite, and immersion foot, hypothermia, heat illness, whether that's heat exhaustion or heat stroke, heat edema, diving medicine, hazardous marine life, seafood poisoning, fish hook injuries, lightning injuries, and then other common travel diseases, whether that's typhoid or West Nile, leptospirosis, malaria, motion sickness, even jet lag. So obviously it can be pretty useful. Not as thorough as something like the Survival Medicine Handbook, but it's a good starting point. As far as the inventory for this, post a picture to go along with as I'm talking about it, but you got things like nitrile gloves, some saline solution for either eye or wound irrigation for your pet or yourself. It does include fairly good quality syringe. It's got a leash, some scissors, a Survive Outdoors Longer emergency blanket, some gauze, some elastic medical wrap. And this, technically, it's both for you and your dog, just like it says on the front, for you and your dog. So some of it is dual use, some of it's pet specific. So like this package specifically is primarily like your personal medical kit, whereas this is more specialized for your dog. But together, it can save you some money on buying 2 separate first aid kits. And if you've got dogs, I would say it is well worth its price. For the dog specific first aid portion, they include this little handbook and reference guide. There's obviously some good useful stuff in here, because unless you're a vet, you might not be the most familiar with what type of skills are required to take care of some sort of injury that your pet might experience, whether that's artificial respiration, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, choking, shock, bleeding, internal bleeding, a gunshot wound, sucking chest wound, chest injury, broken bone, back injury, eye infection, eye injury, poisoning, snake bite, scorpion or spider bite, tick bite, foreign object, skunk spray, frostbite, hypothermia, heat stroke, burns, bloat, vomiting, diarrhea, or seizures. This book is not the most thick. It's not nearly as thick as this book, or let alone that book, but at least it's easy to read. Some basic diagrams that talk you through some of these different topics. And it's at least a good starting point if you're going out away from civilization with your pets, and it's going to be a while before you can get it to a vet.